Don't you like the egg?
What does it mean to time travel? For most stories, it's to prevent a threat from destroying their world. The Dream SMP is no different, with Karl time traveling to either the past or future to learn more about the mysterious egg. Why he can time travel is fairly unknown, which is why I'll be answering that question in this video. Before we start, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach my goal of 200 subscribers by the end of February, and it means a lot to me if you could support the channel. Thank you, and now onto the video. The tales from the SMP are essentially stories from when Karl time travels. They tell us about what happened and how these events occurred. Let's take a look at the latest tales from the SMP, the Masquerade. In this tale's beginning, it is obvious the mood has some happy and comedic tone, but eventually, the story shifts to a much more darker horror of murder and eggs. As the guests start to fill the mansion and start drinking, the lights dim and eventually find out there's a murderer amongst them. This is very much like a cliche murder mystery, but the ending isn't what you'd expect. It surprises you that the egg, a threat to the present tense Dream SMP, is in this tale and has caused every guest to kill one another. After every tale, Karl is transported to what seems to be heaven but is called the in-between. This place is a white castle with a tree in the courtyard. Apparently, this is where Karl will stay for most of the time, trying to regain his memory after time traveling. Which begs the inevitable question: why can Karl time travel? This question is quite difficult to answer as there is no sign of definitive conclusion, but I have some theories on why Karl can travel in time. In many movies and shows, the main character, aka the time traveler, is stereotyped to be a mad scientist, always telling everyone that he will find a way to travel in time. But this is the opposite for the Dream SMP. Karl is just a chill dude, and so far there is no sign of a physical time machine. From speculation, I'm assuming there is something to do with Karl that has him time travel at random moments. Is he a different species? Was there some scientific accident? We may never know, other than Karl is a time traveler. My theory is that Karl does have a machine. Let me explain. During streams, do you ever realize how Karl is always protecting Party Island? He always keeps it safe? Well, to time travel, he has to go around the minecart track several times to break time. Unfortunately, this theory does not work, as the in-between states you don't get to choose when you time travel or when you return. But you already know that. Luckily, you can make a theory out of anything, so here comes theory 2. Since Karl cannot choose when to time travel, I'm thinking that he just gets teleported to a different timeline at random. This would make sense, but it just doesn't seem right. I mean, the Dream SMP is made up of such complex lore that this strikes me as simple. Every time Karl returns from time traveling, he appears in a cave. What if there's some sort of machine in there that sucks him into a different timeline? We don't know how Karl time travels, and it may forever be a secret, but at least we know his motives for time traveling. So, I'm gonna explain why Karl will become the bad guy. Karl Jacobs is the special chosen character to be the time traveler. Why he was chosen is still a mystery, but his motives are clear. Stop the spread of the egg. Unfortunately, his motive will lead to his ultimate demise. This leads to an interesting theory I had in mind. Karl Jacobs is actually the bad guy. Now, let me explain. As you may know, Karl loses his memory and forgets who he is every time he time travels. This makes it so that he doesn't know much about himself. Well, the more he forgets himself and learns about the egg, the easier it will be for the egg to influence Karl. If Karl forgets his motive, the more he time travels, he will be easily persuaded into being the egg's most valuable piece of the puzzle. With that being said, Karl is the ultimate villain of the Dream SMP. So, what did you think about this theory? Probably really stupid, huh? I know. Anyway, thanks for watching and consider subscribing to help me get to 200 subscribers. Thanks.